Hey guys, welcome to a new video. I think it was like about a week ago, maybe two, we talked about whether it's better to main something to climb or just play whatever is overpowered on that patch. This is kind of a follow-on from that, like you're looking at how you can find out the perfect recipe. So like more hidden overpowered champions for yourself, but the video before is definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it already. Now Pro Guides did an awesome job editing the last one for me as well, so I asked them to help with this one too. So you can check out the site down below, especially if you're trying to push for that next tier before the end of the season. Before in that video, we basically said play overpowered for short-term gain for climbing, main something for longer term. The sweet spot, the best combo, is what this video is about, maining a hidden overpowered champion. League stat websites are really good, honestly, but like they only tell us some very specific stuff. A lot of people feel like these win rates show the definitive best champions, but really it's showing how strong something is for newer players on that champion, like how much we can abuse that pick, how easy they are to win with to start with. That is what the word overpowered that we use a lot truly means right now. Like there are a lot of other just as strong picks though that are left out on these sites. So first up, when is a champion actually overpowered? Like what makes something OP and not just calling it overpowered because you saw a win rate? This is really important because honestly in the right hands, I think most champions can seem overpowered and very strong, but that is the point, in the right hands. When any random monkey can make a champion look strong, that is when the champion becomes unfun to play against. You're getting beat by worse players using something overpowered. That isn't satisfying to play, and that is what it means. If we take a look at just a few champions who I would say right now everyone can kind of agree are a bit on the OP side: Cho'Gath, Sejuani, Twitch, and Janna. Looking at the champion.gg pages, there is one thing they all have in common: a really high 1 to 50 games played win rate. For Cho'Gath is 52%, same with Sejuani, 53.5% for Twitch, and 54% for Janna. This means that even new players are winning a lot of games with them because they are that strong, and that is what really makes an overpowered champion in League. All champions should be able to become stronger the more time you put into them, but being overpowered means that the mastery part isn't even needed. It's too easy to be really strong with them and to win. If we look at this as well, the player base average games played for all of these stats on the website are all below 10 games. Most players fit into this 1 to 50 games bracket, so that is where the win rate is normally most heavily influenced. It's kind of like how a Malzahar with less than 50 games wins more than a Zed player with 150 games. Like that is why someone abusing Malzahar will climb faster, and why really Malzahar is pretty overpowered as a champion. The win rate by games played graph that you're going to see on the site, the 1 to 100 games reflects the current meta or recent meta more, but after that it's more about the general season. Really the stats that we're looking at, like on the homepage and stuff, tell us how overpowered something is for this general patch. This though is how you are going to find more hidden overpowered champions for this meta. You look at the 50 to 100 games played tier. That isn't going to be too many games to play in a few months while the meta is staying relatively the same, but this is going to tell you what is really strong in this meta, but not just what is really easy to abuse. So Cho'Gath versus Sejuani, right? Always very similar in win rate on sites, ranked first and third actually when I made this video, both pretty overpowered. Sejuani though is actually much stronger as a champion. So Cho'Gath's 50 to 100 win rate is 53.61% at the moment. Sejuani's is 56.75% though. So even though in the rankings they look really close, right? There is actually a big difference between them in strength. Another one that really shows this is looking at hidden stuff for the mid lane. Twisted Fate is commonly viewed as the strongest solo queue mid laner, I think. That's pretty fair to say. Vel'Koz is a pocket pick. He's not really seen as overpowered, not really seen very often either. Twisted Fate's current ranking when I made this video was the 9th best mid based on win rate, and his 50 to 100 win rate was 56%. Vel'Koz, his current ranking in terms of mid laners at the moment, was 18th, and the 50 to 100 win rate was 55.7%, so very, very close to Twisted Fate. You wouldn't have thought so, but in general terms for climbing in this meta, Vel'Koz is basically just as good as Twisted Fate, even though he's not even in the top 10 on the site. I do have a better one though. So Taliah, current win rate on the site, 59% overall, places her 35 out of 45 champions for the mid lane. Nobody is going to look at her and think, wow, she's really overpowered. But actually, if the 1 to 50 win rate is 49%, and that is why it looks so bad. The 50 to 100 is 56.11%, even better than Twisted Fate, even better than Vel'Koz. The 200 plus is 63.23%, which is absolutely insane for Taliah mains. Taliah never shows on sites as ranking in the top 5, the top 10, even the top 20, but actually in terms of strength, like champion strength, she is probably the best mid laner to climb with and the strongest mid lane champion. This is my point. We are surrounded by stat websites throwing stuff at us that honestly only show how overpowered a champion is right now. It's how strong they are regardless of the player playing them. Now that is great and stuff, but that doesn't really tell us all of these hidden overpowered or hidden strongest champions buried in the stats. A few other things though before we finish the video. You also want to look at play rate. More a champion is played and still keeps that really high win rate, the more overpowered the champion is. If you go on the site and you click on your favorite champion, not really weak ones, but like normal ones and stuff, their win rate will all improve over games played. But it's like that starting point that really determines the overpowered stuff. Zed, for example, always has a horrible win rate, but does that really mean that he is actually awful as a champion? No, honestly, nowhere close. He's actually really strong. Why does he look bad though? Because his pre-50 game win rate isn't even at 50%, 48.5% actually. Considering most players fit into that bracket, remember, they are all bringing that win rate down and making him look really bad. If we look at Rek Sai as well, she's a really good example. She seems average at best, ranked 14th when I made this video. It's kind of like a 50% win rate. That is not good, but in Korea, she is considered one of the most overpowered junglers at the moment. Partly why the 1 to 50 win rate, 48%, the 50 plus is over 55%, which is like a Janna level, by the way. If you just look at stat websites and you only listen to them for junglers, then Sejuani and Rammus are like the 100% best. And yes, they are the most overpowered picks because they are easy to play, strong, and easy to win with. That doesn't make them the best champion overall in the jungle though. A good Rek Sai will have almost the same win rate as them. Nidalee is another good example. 48.5% to start with, up to almost 55% after we exclude the newer players and we're not counting them to that win rate. I guess my point is, don't believe 100% what these websites tell you. They could be a first-time Nidalee, a first-time Rek Sai, and they are going to bring the win rate down. Now, these sites are really useful, don't get me wrong, but have a look at that 50 to 100 bracket or past that to see just how good a champion you want to play can really be. So thank you for watching the video, and I hope you found this useful. If you did, feel free to subscribe and stick around for more of this stuff. Check out Pro Guides, definitely, but for now, I'll leave you with the robots.